When I reviewed Sailor Moon R the movie, I did not give Luna a cameo. Well, now that I'm talking about Sailor Moon R the series, it's time I give Luna an obligatory cameo. Gee, she really needs to chill out. This is the second series of the original Sailor Moon anime franchise. It aired from 1993 to 1994. And unlike the first series of the original Sailor Moon anime franchise, Sailor Moon R has 2 arcs this time around. And the reason it has 2 arcs is because while Sailor Moon R went into production, Naoko Takeuchi was not done with the Black Moon Clan arc. So that is why Sailor Moon R begins with a filler arc that had nothing to do with the manga whatsoever. And the first 13 episodes deal with the Makaiju arc. What's Makaiju? It stands for Hell Tree. The Makaiju arc is actually the worst thing about Sailor Moon that I've seen thus far. And I wasn't fond of how Sailor Moon R kicked off because not only did they start with a filler arc, they also had an excuse to give Usagi's memories back of being Sailor Moon. Listen, I'm not expecting a masterpiece out of Sailor Moon, but this is bad writing, and I can clearly see it. At least this brings back what Sailor Moon fans love about Sailor Moon, so I guess that's something. The antagonists in the Makaiju arc are Aol and An, who I don't really remember much out of because I didn't find them that interesting. So that's just another reason why the Makaiju arc is the worst thing about the Sailor Moon anime that I've seen thus far. Also in the Makaiju arc, we see another disguise by Mamoru, the Moonlit Knight, which is the most ridiculous thing I have seen throughout Sailor Moon. Now, Sailor Moon R does introduce some new abilities for the Sailor Scouts, so it is nice that some things do get changed up from the original series. But just like the first series of Sailor Moon, we do get to see sequences of these abilities being done over and over and over and over, and this repetition is pretty much a staple to Sailor Moon. While I don't get tired of those sequences, yeah, it does make it painfully obvious that there were shortcuts taken with the production. Much like the original Sailor Moon anime, Sailor Moon R is pretty much a Monster of the Week series, except for the last few episodes of the 2 arcs. Now, this is an improvement that I am seeing with Sailor Moon R, and that's something I can praise it for. But it doesn't feel as different as the first series that came before it. What remains from the original Sailor Moon anime is the opening theme, which is such a catchy tune, and definitely one of the most iconic opening themes to a magical girl anime. And while I do like the outro themes in the original Sailor Moon anime, the outros in Sailor Moon R are just as good. One thing that carries over from the original Sailor Moon is the voice acting on both the original Japanese cast and the Viz dub. I am not going to make any comment about the DeeP dub because I never bothered to watch that version. What I've said in my review of the original Sailor Moon applies in Sailor Moon R as well. This is definitely a Sailor Moon installment that you may want to pay attention to Usagi and Mamoru, but the improvement I see with characters through Sailor Moon R are the antagonists in the Black Moon Clan arc. Why? I actually find them somewhat interesting compared to Queen Beryl, who I did not care for because I never found her that interesting. Sailor Moon R also introduces a new Sailor Scout, Sailor Pluto, who is the guardian of time and space. What? And last but not least, and most importantly, Sailor Moon R introduces Chibiusa. She is such a sweet little brat. Oh my god, she did not make a good first impression on me. But as the series progressed, she started to grow on me. But as Sailor Moon R was about to near its end, I actually forgave her brattiness early on. So this is a character that actually does improve in time. Thank God! Had Sailor Moon R only consisted of the Black Moon Clan arc, I would have considered Sailor Moon R a stronger series than the original Sailor Moon anime. But because of the Makaiju arc, I consider Sailor Moon R to be weaker than the first series. And even though I do think Sailor Moon R is weaker than the first Sailor Moon anime, the Black Moon Clan arc is my favorite story arc in the Sailor Moon anime franchise that I have seen thus far. I'm going to be shooting a 5 out of 10 for Sailor Moon R. Despite my rating, I was able to greatly enjoy Sailor Moon R for what it is. I just don't care for the Makaiju arc. And as I've already stated before, I was not expecting a masterpiece out of Sailor Moon, and it doesn't have to be. However, it still deserves the status of being an iconic anime for the magical girl genre. It did help popularize the magical girl genre, and that's the best praise I can give Sailor Moon. So with that said, I'm done talking about Sailor Moon R. I will look into reviewing Sailor Moon S as well as Sailor Moon S the movie next year. I'll be reloading for my next review, so until then, I'll see you later.